Well, I think I'm finally gonna try to do a little side project to improve the cab steps on the 1989 Belarus 562 tractor. This cab is a pain in the butt to get in and out of, and it's not helped by, I would say, the upper step here. This step, when you're trying to in or out, here you are standing on here, leaning over that way. You know, I'm thinking, can we extend the step here a few inches over? We don't want to get real close to the tire. Not that this tractor is likely to be used for any muddy field work anytime soon, but still, I mean, even just looking at the clearance here, if we had the same clearance up here, that would be, you know, a couple inches over, to give a little more of a platform for one's feet when either going up or getting out. As it is right now, it's a little sketchy trying to get in and out of here without slipping or hurting your ankle or something. Yeah, cab on this is just pretty not very accessible in that regard. I mean, the other problem with this cab is, at least for me, the seat's too low and I have to like pull my knee up to activate the clutch. I don't know if I'll be messing with that now in lieu of this step, but at some point I think I want to unbolt that seat and see if I can do something to raise it up you know, a couple inches so that it's has a little bit better comfort. There's actually some other seats around here that I don't know, maybe they would fit in there, because that one there's got that, I don't know, whatever that padded thing is on there that my dad put on years ago, and it's kind of crappy. I mean, the seat itself is okay, it's just too low for me. I'm a pretty tall guy, I'm like 6'1", and these pedals sit up pretty high, and it's a little dangerous when you're, you know, backing up on things, when you're, you know, you need to, you know, stop and go, and you're trying to, you have to use your hand to pull your knees up to get your foot on the pedal. So not a good thing. At any rate, I'm gonna see if I can't find some scrap metal somewhere around here to bend into something that I can try welding on. Well, a considerable time later, like 2 months maybe, I'm finally gonna work on this Belarus step extension to make it a little safer, getting in, mostly out of the cab, not so much in, but out. This narrow step is easy to slip off. So I got this 1" by 1/8" strap metal here. It's thinner than this stuff, but I'm just going to cut up here somewhere, and then the idea is this other end near me, going to overlap the corner, so get that welded on, and then I should have enough remaining material to cut some ribs here, and I try to weld those in. And all I got is old stick welder, so I don't know how this is going to go, and I'm pretty out of practice at welding anyway, and I don't have any new rods. They're probably old and wet, and yeah, it might not look too pretty. That's what I'm thinking. So I got to get some marking here and try to cut the far end where I want it. Yeah, all right, I cut the cut this one over here to length. A lot of shadows today. So that's butted up against the strut here, and then I have it lined up so, and then I have a C-clamp to hold it in place. I've checked its level, and this should leave me, this is about a 4-inch extension in here. And what do we got for clearance to the tire? I don't know, it's like 2.5, 2 3/4. Probably could be a little less. I guess I could scooch it over a little bit to get it at even 3-ish, but I kind of want more step. You know, climbing out of this cab is kind of treacherous, and I'm not expecting to be driving in big honking mud holes with this, where this would be a problem. Yeah, this thing only gets used for bush hogging these days, and maybe again in the future it'll blow some snow, but yeah, not doing field work in a muck hole. All right, so I'm going to tack, we'll try tack welding this guy on, and then back here, so that that's solid, and then we'll get some light here. And then I can measure and cut some ribs here out of the remaining stock of flat material. So what we're going to use is this AC/DC welder that I believe my late father bought in early 1980s, I think. It's branded Montgomery Ward's, and Montgomery Ward's, and you know, that's a store chain that was a lot like Sears and so on, and they're long gone. I don't know who actually made it. I remember at one point it needed some new diodes in it, and Dad took it to some repair shop to have that done. I'm sure it's not a very high quality unit. And I got some vintage 7014 rods here because they're easier for me to use, assuming they work. I haven't done any welding much for years, and I'm way out of practice, and these rods are old, and 6011s I know penetrate more, and there's some of those up there, but they're a little harder to control. At any rate, yeah, old farm welder. We used to weld a lot of stuff here on the farm. So I got this clamped up, and we're gonna give it a go. And I actually remembered to bring my self-darkening helmet from home on this trip, because there is a helmet here, but it's a lot more convenient with the self-darkening one. All right, I got a tacked along the top there, along the back over there. I think it's gonna go all right. Welder didn't want to come on right away. I turned the switch and it was dead. And I wiggled the plug over here on the wall, and then I kind of wiggled this is actually not a breaker box, it's a fuse box. And I just sort of like that a little bit. Not that that did anything. So now it's working. It could have just been sticky. Poor connection at the plug maybe. This hasn't been used for a couple years at least. Not sure when the last time I used this. It's a little while ago. So at any rate, it's working now. And take this clamp off, and then more securely weld the loop I have on there, and then I can cut some ribs or grates or whatever you want to call them. Alright, I marked off the first rib grate thing here at 4 inches long, and then I'm going to cut it off with this I think 1970s era Makita 4-inch grinder with a cutoff wheel in it. Yeah. And I won't show doing all of these. I'm going to make 3 of them. I should have enough material here to do that, no problem. So one thing I noticed here is these inner rails are actually below the surface of the outside rim of the step. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna hold this one. Is kind of stuck in here, and I think I can tack weld it without having it fall out. Not sure about the others. I mean, I have one of these kind of clamps, but I don't think that's going to work to hold one of these in place somehow in there. So we'll see what happens here. We'll do what we can. I mean, if I don't get all of them, well, I guess I could you know, pound this a little tighter if I had to, and then so it would get stuck in there. Yeah, these shouldn't be too structural, these inner ones, so I'm probably just gonna weld on each end at the top, because I'm not sure I'll be able to do a very good job on the sides. And this one looks a little crappy. Well, it's not gonna fall off, but I should probably grind this off a little bit so it don't look quite so nasty. Alright, well, I'm going to weld in the last one here at the back, this far one. The other two are welded in, well, good enough, I guess. That's why I like using a MIG welder better than stick welders. I always hate stick welders because all that flux causes problems, for me at least. At any rate, I got that one tapped in there. We're gonna weld that in, and then yeah, then this project will be over with, and put my tools away. And I do need to go and put the bush hog mower on the tractor and mow a little bit. It's September 6th, I believe, and fall is approaching. We got a few last warm days here in Minnesota, but it could have frost almost any time from now on. Ooh, we have a big wasp over here flying around. Ooh, must be a nest around here, and I don't want him to land on me, that's for sure. All right, it's done. I did take a grinder to that a little bit. Probably. Yeah, and it's done. It's probably good enough. I don't have any paint laying around here. I'm not going to bother. It'll be fine. But the idea here was to make said step a little bit wider so that there's less chance of hurting oneself climbing out of the cab by slipping off, because that one's a little pretty narrow. Quite frankly, a person could have extended the step out this way, actually all of these, to make it a little bit safer. This cab is, well, the door is off because I caught it on the shed wall and bent it, and I have yet to repair it, but it opens out this way, and then the way you have to crawl in the cab, and then there's not a, I mean, there's a grab handle here, there's nothing inside. It's just quite difficult to climb in and out of here if you aren't you know, quite young and spry. I mean, I'm not as young and as spry as I used to be, for sure, and even when I was, it was a pain in the butt to climb in and out of here. So hopefully this will help a lot. It's not the ugliest job I could have done. I'm not, I know it looks like an old farmer project, because used old farmer tools, and you know, I grew up on the farm, so I guess that qualifies me as an old farmer, even though I don't farm. All right, all for now.